The Gas Monkey Garage was the Dallas-based custom auto shop behind the successful reality TV show Fast and Loud, aired on Discovery Channel and featuring Richard Rawlings. He and his team would search all over the US for decrepit and worn-down classic cars and restore them in the garage. In each episode, the team, which was composed of brilliant fabricators and mechanics, worked to a strict deadline to rebuild those rusty, often abandoned old classics into beautifully restored hot rods, and Richards would then sell them, frequently earning a huge profit for the shop. The TV series premiered back in June 2012 and aired for 8 years, with its final in June 2020. The owner of Gas Monkey Garage, Richard Rawlings, was born on the 30th of March 1969 in Fort Worth, Texas, and had always been a car nut ever since his father gave him a Volkswagen Beetle pedal toy car when he was a child. He remembered his father working 3 jobs just so he could afford to buy him a new toy car or toy motorcycle. Growing up, he would accompany his father to auto shops and watch him tinker with the cars in their garage at home. His father's passion for cars rubbed off on him. When he learned to drive at age 14, he bought his first car, a green-colored 1974 Mercury Comet, and before he even graduated from Eastern Hills High School, he was already driving his third car, a 1977 Bandit Trans Am. He knew that he had an expensive passion, and to support it, he had several jobs before he was even 21 years old, including as a police officer, a paramedic, and a firefighter. Richard eventually quit those jobs to set up a garage, but it flopped, as no one in the community trusted him to tinker with their cars. He ventured into the advertising and printing industry and started his company called Lincoln Press, which he sold later on to pursue a business that was related to his original fascination: vintage vehicles. The origins of Gas Monkey Garage. The idea of launching his auto shop was inspired by several car restoration shows on TV. He realized that each time he watched those shows, his children and his wife weren't with him. So the marketing side of him kicked in. Richard felt that those TV shows were losing a chunk of viewers because of too much machismo and bravado in the show. So his idea was to create one that would not only cater to male viewers, but also to women and kids. He also wanted to restore cars that would be accessible to the regular Joe. To get to that point, he needed to have his own auto shop, thus the establishment of Gas Monkey Garage in 2002, using the money from the sale of his previous business. The journey to success wasn't easy, as the shop went bankrupt twice before he got everything right. Back then, some people underestimated Richard due to his biker image, along with the series of tattoos on his arms. But no one could blame them, as Richard made some poor decisions in promoting his business, but quickly learned from his mistakes and moved on. He had grown to be a savvy businessman who knew what he wanted and how to get things done by hiring the right people for his garage. Richard's Gas Monkey Garage team was initially headed by his chief mechanic and main fabricator, Aaron Kaufman, whom he hired after he saw his brilliance at a local garage where Aaron was working at that time. After restoring and building hot rods for 14 years with the team, he left to pursue his other interests that might have been stifled by his participation in the show. The current team is comprised of Jason Aker, twin firebird expert, Mike Coy, Keenan Hans, and Tony Kano, paint and body tech, Jeremy Cheatham and John Freeman, fabricators, John Rodriguez, writing expert, Russell J. Holmes, contractor mechanic, and Chad Isbell, parts expert. Christy Brimbury is the office manager, while Richard's sister Daphne Kaminsky is head of operations. Some of them have been with the garage since its inception, although through the years, Richard has fired other employees who weren't on the same page with the rest of the crew. By 2004, Richard felt that his garage with his team was ready for television. He pitched his idea to several TV production studios, but only received offers from small networks. He promised himself that he would not fall into the trap of accepting any offer just to be on television, and then get cancelled after one season. So he worked hard to have his brand known by traveling around the country, participating in trade shows, and winning competitions. In 2008, the bigger TV networks came to talk about his idea, but nothing came of them, since he didn't want to compromise his original idea on how the show would be done. Finally, Discovery Channel ordered 15 episodes for one season, and the first episode of the reality TV show Fast and Loud was aired on the 12th of June 2012. Viewers were hooked, and the series soon had a loyal following. Another season was added, as it had become the most watched show on Discovery. It wasn't a surprise to many that the show became a hit, as it offered a different perspective when it comes to reality TV shows. Instead of including drama about the personal lives of the people in the show to pique the interest of viewers, they focused on restoring the car and selling the finished product. Richard was quite proud to say that his show was unscripted, since they used his own garage, his own people, and his own cars to be fixed. He's a hands-on leader when it comes to business matters, but he's hands-off when it comes to his team's expertise. He spent a lot of time vetting his people and making sure that they were qualified for the job, so he's confident that they knew what they were doing. His job was to make sure they met their goal on time and without overspending, and then sell the car to the highest bidder. To make the show as real as possible, the camera crew was on a yearly filming binge with a strict deadline to follow. The team couldn't take a 3-month vacation as other TV series did. The moment Richard and his crew stepped into the garage, they were being filmed. Everyone had a microphone clipped to them, and there were 3 cameras around the shop which never stopped rolling, including when Richard went looking for a car to buy. He even installed a live cam in his garage so all the fans could watch on the garage's official website. Richard Rawlings and his garage had plenty of fascinating stories that went around social media sites, which wasn't surprising since his reality TV show had been the top favorite among male viewers on Discovery Channel. It would be best to take some of it with a grain of salt though. Richard was already obsessed with fixing cars when he was a teenager and had about 20 cars before matriculating from high school. He would buy cars, fix them up, and sell them for a profit. Does that sound familiar? Back when he was still a careless 22-year-old, he went driving on a seedy road and attracted the wrong people. There were a couple of guys who went behind him and were trying to get him to get out of the car. His instinct was to press the accelerator, and he felt a bullet pass through the back of his shoulder down his left arm. They were after the 1965 Ford Mustang Fastback that he was driving that day. Before he became a police officer at the age of 19, he delivered beer to several restaurants and bars in Dallas. One time when he made a supply round to a certain restaurant, he met a man sitting at the bar who asked him what he wanted to do with his life. Richard responded that he wanted to be in law enforcement, but no city would give him the opportunities for someone like him, including putting him through the police academy. 2 weeks later, he was in the police academy because apparently the man he talked to that night was the mayor of a city in Texas. In an episode of Fast and Loud in 2017, an emotional scene unfolded when Aaron announced to everyone that he would be leaving the show, and not just for a vacation. His team and the fans thought at first that it was just a case of being burnt out and that he only wanted a breather, but he said that he wouldn't be coming back. Fans were shocked as Richard and Aaron had seen the perfect duo in the garage and in the show. Initially, the reason that was given was creative differences. In a way, it was true, as Aaron wanted to do bigger cars, but for some reason, TV producers only wanted to do smaller cars. However, in March 2018, Discovery Channel announced that Aaron would be featured in their new reality series called Shifting Gears. Fans then realized that he left Fast and Loud to be the star of his own show, but unfortunately the show only lasted for 2 seasons. Richard fully understood Aaron's reasons, and they are still friends up to this day. Fast and Loud fans heaved a sigh of relief when Tom Smith, one of the technicians on the show, was fired. They couldn't take his weird behavior in everything he did, and even the crew had had enough of his antics. Surprisingly, his odd and annoying persona was what other TV studios wanted for their own reality TV series, and so he was hired again by Discovery Channel to do Fired Up Garage. There were times when the cars they fixed wouldn't start because of problems with the computer system installed in the cars. Fans only got to see the IT guys from Diablo Sport and HP Tuners for a couple of minutes on TV when the team needed help, but in reality, it would take 2 days to fix the system. They tried to downplay the help that they needed from the IT experts, as it was a flaw in their operation. Pre-beard Aaron and Richard posed for a promotional photo wearing only eyeglasses and string bikinis. This happened before the Fast and Loud era, and they did it simply to annoy the rival team in a competition that they participated in. The proof of their notoriety could still be found online, and even if they shuddered at their past activities, they couldn't undo it, because what you posted online would stay online. Back in 2018, the garage's zookeeper, as they fondly called their office manager, Christy Brimbury, had chemotherapy to treat her cancer, before then undergoing a surgery to remove a cancerous lymph node. Her voice box was damaged as it was accidentally cut when they did surgery, but fortunately, she's currently cancer-free and still part of the team. Her husband, Darren Brimbury, is a popular celebrity hairstylist who does Richard's hair. Fast and Loud, Blood, Sweat and Tears was published in May 2015, following which he went around the country on a book tour. The book chronicled his journey from helping his dad earn extra money by delivering newspapers as a kid to eventually selling cars. It was an inspiring book that also served as an automotive handbook, with Richard giving tips and advice on how to take care of cars. His business empire started with Gas Monkey Garage, which created Richard's first reality TV series. Due to its success, the show gave birth to spin-off series such as Misfit Garage, which featured his former employees whom he'd fired from his garage, Garage Rehab, featuring struggling garages and helping them stay afloat, and Fast and Loud Demolition Theater, which showed all the epic failures in the automotive industry, including Richard's cringeworthy incidents. He's one of the producers of the shows. After being on TV for 16 seasons, Richard announced in the podcast, The Joe Rogan Experience, that he's done with the reality TV show, and the June 2020 episode of Fast and Loud was the last one. He said that he'd left Discovery Channel and rather excitedly shared that he's a free agent now. People were surprised at the news since the show was still doing quite well. But he said that he'd already achieved his goal and sat on top of the food chain at the cable channel. He needed a new challenge and teased fans to expect some cool things he was preparing for 2021. Generally, fans were disappointed to hear that it ended, but at the same time excited that Richard would return with a new series. While the TV show is cancelled, the Gas Monkey Garage continued to restore hot rods for vintage car enthusiasts on Merrill Road, Dallas. Richard's now in great business and has expanded the Gas Monkey Garage brand through the years in several countries. He published books, produced tequila and vodka, along with an energy drink, built restaurants, and had a clothing line being sold at Walmart, Target, and Kohl's. Recently, its official YouTube channel uploads episodes of Richard's new podcast called Monkey Trap. The great thing about Gas Monkey Garage was that Richard was the sole proprietor of the business and the hard worker. He also wouldn't enter into any deals that would use his name to create another business. Richard said that unless he's the owner of the business, no one could use his brand. It was his only way of protecting what he built and the 1,000 or so people working for him. Richard Rawlings' net worth. According to authoritative sources, as of mid-2021, Richard has an estimated net worth of over $20 million. Some earned through the garage operations, along with his reality TV shows, and part of it from successfully expanding his brand as described. Thank you for spending some time with us. Make sure to like and subscribe so you never miss another video. We also handpick these videos which we recommend you watch next. You can talk to us on all social medias or ask a question in the comments below. Thank you for being with us, and we'll see you back tomorrow.